The Puck Portfolio with Andy MacNeil.
Hey, welcome to the Puck Portfolio. My name is Andy MacNeil. I'm your host. I'm here on weekdays to provide NHL projections, betting advice, and strategies to help you make informed bets throughout the NHL season. This show is sponsored by NorthStar Bets, good old Canadian sportsbook. You can check them out via the link in the description below. Of course, the show is presented by CanadaSportsBetting.ca. Check out our great website. I've got an article up there today detailing updated betting trends, a little bit of Atlantic Division talking about the Bruins, Panthers, and the Red Wings. The Red Wings for a different reason than the Bruins and the Panthers, of course, and a little bit of Western Conference wildcard talk in that article as well, mainly about the Seattle Kraken, as they have been on quite a run lately. They've racked up points in 10 of their last 11 games, I believe, but I'm still seeing the Kraken as a team that is very unlikely to make the playoffs. I mean, they've got the Edmonton Oilers, who just leapfrogged them in the standings with their 5-2 win over the Flyers on Tuesday. And they've got to compete with the likes of, Arizona, Nashville, Minnesota, St. Louis even, and Calgary is in there as well. So Kraken, things not looking good for the Kraken, but things are looking good for the Puck Portfolio. So close to the sweep. The Arizona Coyotes gave me a little bit of hope, tying the game at 1 in the third period, but that fell apart quickly as the Panthers scored 2 quick goals to go up 3-1. And they eventually won the game 4-1. But other than that, it was a solid night going 4-1. Of course, we had the Isles and the Avs over 6.5. That one cruised over the total as it hit 6 goals, 3-3, and we knew that it was going to be a winner before the midway point of the game. So that's always nice. Another team that cruised was the Vancouver Canucks. They got out to a 5-0 lead in the first period. Of course, the Sens did battle back. The game did finish 6-3, but an impressive win for Vancouver. I know some people talked about last night how they probably got a little bit lucky. They needed some big saves from Thatcher Demko as the Senators were pushing pretty hard. But I'd like to see what happens in most games where a team goes up 5-0. They definitely are going to sit back and let the team come at them in waves. That is going to be the case most times. Elsewhere, the Caps, which made me really happy because I saw a few square bettors, some of the social media types on there talking about how they were all over the Pens yesterday, which, Caps win 4-3, got out to a 4-0 lead, 4-1 at the end of the first period. I thought Pittsburgh was going to come back, I'll be honest, but Caps hold on. Darcy Kemper played great and then really helped Washington get that win. That was a nice plus 155 winner. If you aren't following me on Twitter at Digital Gambler, do so right now. After immediately, literally as soon as we ended Tuesday's live stream, Jake said, "Oh, Darcy Kemper confirmed to start for Washington." If you were watching the show, I was waiting for that one. So right after the live stream, I got on Twitter, I tweeted out that information, and I added a little note that said I was playing the Capitals for a half unit at plus 155. So I was very happy about that. And elsewhere, the bet that nobody thought was gonna win, especially not the resident Habs fan, Jake here, but the Habs pull off the 4-3 win over the Dallas Stars. They were up 4-1. There was 11 minutes to go, and I'm thinking, man, the Caps just pulled it off. Is this Montreal? Is the final 10, 11 minutes of this Montreal game going to be a sweat? Probably. And yeah, it absolutely was. Dallas got within 1, but the Habs were able to hold on. What do you think about that performance last night? Great game from Samuel Montembeault, of course. That was a big reason for the win. Would you say, Jake?
Yeah, the Stars got Montembeault a little bit. I think he had like a 960 save percentage before Dallas pulled the goalie and got a couple at the end there. But yeah, it was a fun game from top to bottom. The Habs were of course outshot severely in the second and third, but managed to. I mean, one thing I noticed about the Habs is when they are getting that goaltending and they can sense it, they score really opportunistic goals. They're opportunistic, and that sort of has propelled them this season. But the other thing I learned is that I just have to fade them, and they might end up winning the Stanley Cup. So
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they're that's what happens when you have a team like Montreal that has as much skill as they do, even though they, might not have the structure that you'd like to see most nights. But if they're getting that kind of goaltending, it's going to open things up for them to score those opportunistic goals because they do have shooters on that team. So, yeah, really happy with that win. Of course, the Canadians were a big plus 240 underdog. So a couple of big dogs coming through for us on Tuesday. Overall, about a 2.48, 2.5 unit night. So that really sort of made up for what I lost in December, because December wasn't a great month. I lost somewhere between 3 and 4 units. I'm not sure exactly, but things have been looking up. Jake, if we could pull up the betting record year to date, this is money line, so it doesn't include our first total play, which was a winner, the Islanders and the Avs over 6.5 at even money on Tuesday. I'm going to set up another spreadsheet that contains any other plays outside of the money lines that I'm giving out every day. Those other plays have been profitable overall, so I'm actually shorting myself here. But money lines up almost close to that 15 unit mark. I'm just going to pull it up myself so I can actually see what I'm looking at here. Yeah, so 82 wins, 70 losses. That is a 53.9% win rate, a 9.2% return on investment. So that's taken a bit of a hit. But hey, we're up 14.6 units betting money lines this season at average odds of plus 109. Of course, those dogs that came through last night, that pulled our average odds down a little bit lower. But yeah, 48%. So our the odds suggest that we should only be winning 48% of our bets, but we're actually winning roughly 54% of our bets. So yeah, that's pretty great. 66% closing line value. That's been tough to get up there. Yesterday wasn't a great day because we did bet. All 5 bets were made on game day, so I didn't anticipate getting a lot of closing line value, but didn't get the worst of it really, except for maybe the Coyotes. That was one play that didn't really look all that great in hindsight. But yeah, 2.6% closing line value, 14.6 units won on the money line, and a 9.2% return on investment. Very happy with that so far. Glad to be back up close to 15 units. Hopefully, we can get up close to 20 the next time we do an update. We'll have to have a strong week, and I've got a lot that that I like for Thursday. Nothing for Wednesday. We'll pull up the schedule tracker if we can. Jake, we'll get to that here for January 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Lots of games, lots of teams playing 3 games in 4 nights. A couple of back-to-backs mixed in. Of course, we got the Jets. Luckily, they're against the Ducks on the 5th. They're playing their 5th game in 7 nights. So yeah, some schedule stuff to look out for, but nothing really out of the ordinary. Most teams playing on one day off. We've got some teams playing with 2 days off, and that's that. So if you want to take a screenshot of that, you can do that now. I factor this into my projections, which we will get to right away here, and I'll hit on the games that I like from a betting perspective. So nothing for Wednesday, as you can see. I've got the 2 games for Wednesday at the top of the list there. And oh, that's whoa. I just put myself on the computer and it wasn't muted. I'm sorry about that. But anyways, wow, I'm a handsome guy. Anyway, 2 games for Wednesday. I've got the Devils minus 149 according to the projection model. The Maple Leafs minus 186. Let's see what is over at NorthStar Bets. We use NorthStar Bets odds on this show, so we will check out NorthStar Bets right now on these 2 games here right now. So NorthStar has the Jersey Devils at minus 175 on the money line, the Washington Capitals at plus 143, the Toronto Maple Leafs minus 200 favorites on the second half of a back-to-back. Of course, they're coming off a big 3-0 win over the LA Kings on Tuesday. They're taking on the Ducks, who are plus 160 on the money line. So no interest there from a betting perspective, but there are some games I've got some interest in on Thursday. We're going to get to those here right away. And yeah, so the first one I want to talk about is the Pittsburgh Penguins. So I've been fading the Penguins here off and on throughout the month of December for sure. And they have shown me something as of late though. And the Bruins, on the other hand, have shown me the exact opposite. So I talked a little bit about where Boston was uh, yesterday on Tuesday's show. I'm going to pull that up right now and just talk a little bit about. So we'll go all situations just to get a better, you know, the entire kind of overview. So on the season, Boston ranks 19th in expected goals percentage. The Penguins, they are up in the sixth spot. If we look at 5-on-5, the Penguins are in the seventh spot and the Bruins are in 14th. So that's on the season, year to date. But if we look at the last month since December 3rd, my birthday, we can see that the Bruins, they're in the 22nd spot at 5-on-5 in expected goals percentage. The Penguins, they're still in the seventh spot. So Boston has really been trending downwards lately. Of course, they got a big win over the Blue Jackets, but that was expected on Tuesday. So I'm going to take the Penguins. NorthStar Bets currently has the Pittsburgh Penguins at plus 148 on the money line. Don't get me wrong. I think Boston should be the favorite here, but I'm not so sure that Pittsburgh might be the better team right now. So the model has Boston minus 131. I'm going to lock in Pittsburgh plus one. Where are we at here? January 4th. Pittsburgh at Boston plus 148. That's going to be a 1-unit play. Hopefully the Pens can take out the Boston Bruins. But yeah, the Bruins, they've been slipping, talked about how now is probably the best chance to get down on the Panthers to win the Atlantic Division if you have not already updated the projected NHL standings this morning. Boston, they've got a 48% chance of winning the Atlantic Division. Florida, they've got a 42% chance of winning the Atlantic Division. Their odds are plus 250, so something to consider at NorthStar Bets there. But I've got the Pittsburgh Penguins plus 148 for 1 unit. That is my first bet of the day. My second bet, and look, this one makes me a little bit weary. I don't really love to lay a big price, chalky price on a team coming back after a longer road trip. The Flyers were on the road for 5 games, really 4 games because they had the Christmas break in between. But I like the Flyers here. The model thinks they should be minus 210 hosting the Blue Jackets on Thursday. The Flyers are minus 167 currently at NorthStar Bets. We know the Blue Jackets are injured. They're without Zach Werenski. They're without Patrick Laine, Boone Jenner, Adam Boquist. And they are also without backup goaltender Daniil Tarasev. So that means Elvis Merzlikin's probably in goal for the Columbus Blue Jackets. But this minus 167 here at NorthStar Bets is a very attractive price. So I'm going to lock that in to win 1 unit on the Philadelphia Flyers to beat the Columbus Blue Jackets at home on Thursday. Minus 167 to win 1 unit. So we've got 2 bets. We've got the Pittsburgh Penguins plus 148. We've got the Philadelphia Flyers minus 167. My third bet is going to be the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now, the Lightning, they were only able to play with 5 defensemen on Tuesday night in Winnipeg. Mikhail Sergachev, he's missed 6 straight games. Eric Cernak also out of the lineup. Hayden Fleury also out of the lineup right now as well. So it looks like Philip Myers will be back in the lineup for the Lightning. Their blue line is looking pretty rough, but we don't know if Sergachev will be back in or not. I'm gonna guess that it's probably 50-50 at this point. So yeah, I like the Lightning here. Although I'm a little bit weary about what their roster is going to look like. But Minnesota, they're without Kirill Kaprizov. They're without Philip Gustafson, the goaltender, and Jonas Brodin. Did he return last night? I actually didn't pay attention to that game. I should have looked that up beforehand. Did he come back last night? No, he didn't. He is eligible to return though, so that is I've got him kind of penciled in, but not really. So yeah, I mean, with Minnesota's injuries, the chance that the Lightning could be icing a better roster, I like that. I think there's maybe some hidden value there because of that. But this is going to be a half unit play. I'm betting on Tampa Bay minus 111. Oh, never mind. I'm not betting on Tampa Bay anymore because they're up to minus 118 at NorthStar Bets. So that one has just moved. I'm going to quickly look around here to see if anything else has. No, that one has moved out of range. So scratch the Lightning. Not going to bet on Tampa Bay, at least not at this point. But I am going to bet on the Ottawa Senators. So they are plus 132 at NorthStar Bet right now. They're in Seattle on Thursday, taking on the Kraken. Seattle, they've been racking up the points as of late, but I think the Sens are worth a play here. Half unit play at plus 132 to beat the Seattle Kraken. They're going to be looking for something after that defeat that they suffered at the hands of the Vancouver Canucks last night in front of Wayne Gretzky and Chad Kroger. At that, I mean, Canadian royalty, and you're playing like that. That's pretty terrible. But yeah, so 3 bets I'm going to lock in for Thursday, and they are the Philadelphia Flyers at minus 167 on the money line to beat the Columbus Blue Jackets. That's 1.67 units to win 1 unit. The Pittsburgh Penguins plus 148 on the money line to beat my Boston Bruins, 1 unit to win 1.48 units. And a half unit play on the Ottawa Senators at plus 132 to win 0.66 units. So that's going to be it for Thursday's bets as of right now. I'm going to possibly have some more totals on the show on Wednesday or on Thursday's show for Thursday's games. Not a lot of places have totals out right now, so just going to wait on that. But yeah, happy with these 3 bets. Hopefully we get some good line value here. Jake, anything else stand out to you on Tuesday night? It was a pretty good night of hockey, if you ask me.
Yeah, it was. Unfortunately, I only really watched the Habs, but I was watching all your picks and seeing them come good one after the other. So was definitely happy about that.
Yeah. Did you watch the World Junior Championship yesterday? I know we didn't talk about it on the show.
To be honest, the only reason I watched it is because it was on while we were getting ready for the show, so I was already kind of on my computer and watching and stuff. I don't think I would have watched like, let's say, if it was at night. I think the luster of that tournament is maybe kind of come off for me, but yeah, I was watching it, getting ready for the show tomorrow yesterday.
Yeah. So I made a tweet this morning, and it was actually in reference to. So I read something this morning about how um you're saying it was Radic Bonk's kid that was the tarred and feathered
I'm
by the
pretty sure he's
Canadian
Radic
fans.
Bonk's kid. If I'm wrong about
Yeah.
that, I'm sorry, but I'm fairly certain it is.
Oliver Bonk put his Instagram on private after being attacked by Canada fans for a play that wasn't even his fault. So I didn't see the play. Of course, I was preparing for yesterday's show, and I haven't really cared about the World Juniors since I was in the 10th grade, which was 2004, when Marc-Andre Fleury coughed the puck up to Patrick O'Sullivan and cost Canada the World Junior. And yeah, I was probably mad at that point, but I was 16 years old, and that's sort of excusable at that point in your life. But yeah, I mean, after that, I was lucky enough to be in high school during the absolute heyday of this tournament, because 2003, I would have been in the 10th grade, ninth grade, maybe 2003. That was the greatest Canadian World Junior team ever assembled. Of course, with Crosby, Patrice Bergeron, Corey Perry. The list goes on. I think Ryan Getzlaf was on there. On and on and on, right? Just so many stars on that team. And it was a fun time. It was awesome. Those years were good times to be a young hockey fan in Canada. And if you enjoy the tournament, by all means, sink your teeth into it. Get super invested. Enjoy the hell out of it. But if you are taken to social media to bully teenagers, you're a loser. I mean, it's just that simple. And I had James Duthie, of all people. I don't think he follows me on Twitter, but I had James Duthie, of all people, respond to me here. So what did I say? I said nobody cared about the World Junior Championship for the first decade or more. This started back in the 70s. Nobody knew about it. It was one of the most obscure tournaments. Like scouts, hockey people, those are the people that knew about it. And then TSN realized that they could, televise it, program Canada to care about it. And now the rest is history, because somebody came at me saying that, like, oh, aren't all TV or sporting events, programmed. We're all programmed to enjoy them all. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's all to some degree bread and circus, right? Like if you want to call it that, it's the distraction, etc. But um, like I don't know, a lot of other things were around before TVs were even invented, like the NHL and pro sports were around before televised sporting events were a thing, right? And so they took this little obscure tournament that was in faraway towns in the middle of nowhere in Europe and places you didn't even know about, and they turned it into this huge thing. And TSN, I mean, nobody has benefited more than TSN from this, right? I mean, if it wasn't for this championship, I'm not even sure TSN would still be in business. Like, what do they have? They've got curling and like Raptors games, and that's like it. I don't know, but look, everything on TV is made up, and everything on sports is made up. And James Duthie of all people, I mean, like, let's be real, guy. Like, your job is like what, 80% scripted. You are like the panelist host. Like, you are everything I hate about broadcasting, because one minute you're on the World Junior Championship and the next minute you're the fucking analyst for the World Cup of Soccer. Like, how can you be an expert on two things like that? No, I don't think so, right? Like, I don't know. It's like Sid Sixtero. He spent how many years on Tim and Sid for Sportsnet, and I knew people at Sports. I know people at Sportsnet that told me this, that worked with him, that told me about how he would, have the exact opposite of opinion on something behind off the air, and then he would go on the air and spew the total opposite just because he knew that that's what would fire people up. And now he's on breakfast television talking about politics every day. Like this, like Bruce Arthur, he was a hockey writer. When the pandemic happened, now he's the COVID writer. Like, journalist broadcasting, it's the most. I just don't get it. It's like you can be an expert in whatever you want as long as you've got that little degree in your pocket that tells you, hey, you can write about sports, you can write about infectious diseases, whatever you want. I just choose one thing to try to be an expert on, and that's hockey, and it's the NHL, and it's from a betting perspective. I don't know. There's not too much else in my life. Video games, maybe I could maybe share some expertise on, but that's about it. I wish maybe I guess I don't know. I'm not a broadcaster, but that's a pretty impressive thing, to go to school, go to school for a few years, and be able to be an expert on literally anything. But yeah, the World Junior Championship, man. Like, I'm not belittling anybody that likes it. I just think that there's a like it's you grow out of caring about it so much that it will make you lose sleep at night, or feel like like you lost a part of yourself, like the way you would if you're like if you're a Habs fan and they lose the Stanley Cup. Like, you're gonna I could understand why you might lose some sleep over that one, right? But this tournament comes back every year. There's really no connection to it other than the fact that they've got Maple Leafs on their sweaters, and that happens to be where we live. Um, People take it way too seriously. I don't know. And I think to be honest, all the people that replied to me, saying things like, "Oh, or maybe people just enjoy it because it's great hockey played by teenagers from all these different countries with skill and passion." Well, yeah, if that's why you enjoy it, great. But the second the enjoyment turns from, "Hey, you're having fun watching a game with your buddies, or whatever," to taking to social media to bully people, teenagers nonetheless. And I know they've got to learn how to deal with criticism, but look, now's not the time, right? Just whatever. It's I'm never gonna care about the World Juniors unless there's a good bet to be made that I think is something I can't pass up on. But other than that, yeah, I mean, it's the I made up tournament question mark laugh out loud. It's the IIHF under 20. See, like, look, so I peaked in high school because I enjoy cheering for my home country and what it no, like, it's it's not that. It's see, like, this is you guys are just like seeing you haven't been reading the news. There's a lot of asshole hockey fans in Canada that did some asshole things. So, like, that's who I'm talking about. And I mean, I think you're all kind of showing yourselves as being really sensitive. Anyway, end of rant. Did I lose you, Jake? Did you fall asleep?
No, no, I'm here. No, I'm here. I just wanted to let you cook there. No, I think people replying to you are kind of proving your point that they're not kind of reading into the nuance of like, don't be an asshole. Enjoy it, whatever you want to enjoy. Enjoy it. Don't be an asshole. Don't make people pay for your fandom, and just take it easy.
Yep, that's pretty much it. And that pretty much does it for Wednesday's episode of the Puck Portfolio here on the Canada Sports Betting YouTube channel. If you have not already, please like this video. Please subscribe to the Canada Sports Betting YouTube channel. Helps out a ton. Of course, this show is also available on Apple Podcast and Spotify. We upload it pretty quickly after we end the live stream here. So if some days you can't make it onto YouTube, check us out on Apple or Spotify and listen to the audio version. But yeah, 3 picks for Thursday, none for Wednesday, but I've got the Flyers minus 167 to win 1 unit, the Pittsburgh Penguins 1 unit to win 1.48 units at plus 148, and a half-unit play on the Ottawa Senators to beat the Seattle Kraken at plus 132 to win 0.66 units. Those are my 3 best bets for Thursday right now. All odds courtesy of NorthStar Bets. Thanks a lot for joining me on today's show. I will see you again on Thursday.